Racing is expensive, that's for sure. In this episode of Making the Team, we're going to talk a lot about how expensive it has been so far for the first 2 months of our race team. We're going to dive into the money and some of the racing that we've done so far. So yeah, man, racing is expensive. So previously on this episode 1, I left you off with we had no kits. We got our kits. So let's start from there. We finally got the delivery of our cycling kits. New kit day! Oh yeah, buddy. Skin suits, bro! Yup! Jeez Louise. That ATP doesn't make sense right there. The Diablo jersey, bro, is super summer. My favorite jersey I've ever worn. The sleeves are like, they're razor thin. Get out of town with this vest, bro. Get out of town with this vest. Yo! I don't really know whose idea it was to go with a green vest, but it was the greatest idea. That vest, holy moly, dude. The vest pulls everything together. It looks so good that I almost really think we should have had a green body to the jersey and the sleeves were black. But I was very happy with the kits. And we got them, I think, Thursday, and our first race of the year was Saturday. We were cutting it super close. I did a vlog on this, right? You can watch the Cantua race day, but essentially I was not feeling very good at all. Right as we started, I was like, dude, I might not even finish this race, and just ended up being kind of in the right spot to go with the move. But then here's the thing is, man, we spent a lot of money to have Timmy, Cameron, Terrence, and Chaz $200 to not make the move, and it was more of a split of the group than it was really anything else. 2 guys made the front group of 10, that's cool, but we have so much firepower we left in the back part of the pack, right? Isaiah was going to be the man to work with. It ended up being that we came down to the finish. I was there, dude. I had the legs. If I had gone right with the Mark Pro guy, I would have won the race. But I went left around Mike's bikes and forever had second. Man, to win the first race out would have been super dope, but second was just, I was like, what is happening? This is so amazing. A great start to the year.
Which side is second?
It's usually that side, I think.
Hands up.
Colin, are you flexing, dude?
He went to go grab a
It was really great. Both of our twos got points, which we were shooting for. They both made it in the break. Tyler and Isaiah just killed it. So happy with how the outcome was. It was a little bummer to get some people dropped, on the first lap, but we all had fun. We all got dirty, so that's cool. And really successful day with Tyler pulling second, Isaiah fifth. That's awesome. Can't be happy. That's really happy.
Can't be happy. We cannot. and I were not going to race Cherry Pie. It was really far away. We were going to do Pine Flat instead. Pine Flat got canceled, so we decided to go and do Cherry Pie, which since we didn't pre-register, the price of the racing went up. I had to pay $120, which then, it gets our total up for this weekend of close to $1,000 for one weekend of racing. And it really changes the way that I look at racing and look how, with driving 4 hours one way, right? So that's an 8-hour round trip plus just all the time and now actual money being invested. Do we have the firepower to win this? Can we win this? Because if we're just here for top 10, I don't really want to spend this kind of money, So we have a little powwow of what are we going to do? How are we going to race this? And the objective was to keep it together for a sprint.
So obviously we have the numbers. We're going to have to control as much as we can in this race. It is going to be strung out from the very beginning, and attacks are going to go coming out of that hairpin turn. It's going to be super fast. It kind of rolls down a little bit and then up, and then the last few hundred meters, maybe 350, are wide open before you get to the hairpin if we have a few guys, and make it all the way to the line from there.
So the workhorses are going to work, the sprinters are going to sit in. That was the plan. And by spending so much freaking money and driving 8 hours round trip to be at this race, I completely slayed myself. I just threw myself onto the sword for the team. So I chased down a lot of moves. I was really trying to be a good workhorse. I literally rode my soul out of my butthole. So it was nothing I could do. I pulled out with 2 laps to go because I was done. And we messed up, dude. We messed up. Tarun and Mike's got off the front. They stayed off the front. Mike's won and Bobby got second. We got 8th and 9th, I believe. Timmy and Isaiah got 8th and 9th, which is a silver lining. Which is okay, that's in this field, on this course, that's not bad. That means we're competitive. We were relevant in the race, but for the amount of money that we spent and the amount of time invested into this, that's the bar is not there. The bar is win. The bar is podium.
Yeah. But it's a hard one to start out, the crit racing season on something like that where it is so technical.
Isaiah, what do you think we could have done different to set you up at all? You were sheltered pretty much most of the time, but what's your take?
I think, the issue was there was a break up the road, so it kind of forced us to sacrifice you to try to catch it to bring it back to a field sprint. So we lost our last workhorse guys there, but I felt we lost a lot of the guys in the beginning, so we didn't have enough at the end to keep it together to where we would have needed it to be a field sprint. Just kind of ran out of guys.
Really, for a lot of us, the first time riding together, so we got a lot to build on, and I think.
Well, I think Cameron, as you come back into fitness and form, because
give me a few weeks,
because I really feel you could have made a huge difference.
Yeah.
And I think I just got confused. I didn't know you were sprinting. I thought I was sprinting. I was behind you. I was talking to you. I was communicating.
Yeah.
And if we get in that situation again and you hear somebody communicating with you, adapt.
I don't know if it was your wheel, but I saw you come up right after, somebody kind of dove on the inside.
Skinner dove all the way to the inside. He got both of us in that one corner.
I gave space because I was going to come out wide, and I figured you were on my wheel, so I was going to start the sprint and get on somebody's wheel and then come around, and then if I didn't have it, I figured you were going to come by.
Our next big test was the Snelling road race. One of the most premier races, on our calendar. It's early on, but it is, dude, if you can win Snelling, you can win anything. It is a stacked race with tons of dudes. It's long, it's hard, it's difficult, and we brought out a solid squad.
And so we missed the pre-reg, you know what I mean? So it's cheaper to just register day of.
One, I could just do manual entries from here, and then you could just pay us on Saturday, and then you're on the thing and pre-assigned.
That if there's any way that you can get us so I'm not frantically trying to get 6 guys registered and swipe a card 5 minutes before the race starts off, that would be phenomenal.
What's the plan?
We all know the race, we know the course, we know most of the other riders here, so we got to be really active. Got to be riding near the front, be smart about your positioning. The main thing is we don't want to miss any moves going up the road. I don't think we necessarily have to initiate. There's going to be a lot of other riders that we can follow, so we can save a little bit of energy by following the wheels.
We definitely have a couple guys towards the front though, because it's easy for like one of us to cover, and be like, oh my gosh,
No,
where's the other dude to take over? I don't want to do everything.
Yeah, we need to make sure we have multiple guys riding near the front, because you should not, especially if you're like say second, third, fourth wheel. I don't want you having to jump and cover a move that's going 10 miles an hour faster from behind you. So there needs to be somebody like riding close to the front, and then maybe a couple guys that are within that first 10 to 15, so that you can follow those attacks that are really going, because it's hard to cover from the front.
And it's a narrow road, and we're going to be, obviously there's 50 pre-reg, so there's going to be 70, 80 of us packed into this narrow road. How can we work together to get the guys that are supposed to be on our team at the front to help them?
First lap, Josh Carling flats out. And I'm just thinking, well, there goes $50. Bummer. And then Cameron, brand new rubber, he flats out the back. Okay, there's $100. And then all of a sudden, Timmy flats. He's out. And it's like, dude, you know what I mean? We just lost 3 guys. I think we lost Greg as well. Got a flat. We lost 4 guys. That's $200 that we paid for the race to guys to race. And this is not the guy's fault, right? It's just racing. And so $200 for them to just hang out on the side and watch the race, you know? I got into a move, like me and Chaz were looking for moves. I got into a move that should have worked. All the people were there. Everyone was in the move that needed to be in the move. But Cam Piper was just a little bit too strong. Cam Piper is extremely strong, and so no one really wanted to work, because it's like he's most likely going to win if this sticks. So we had made another 2 SP2s in the break. We had Mike Spikes and Tarun and Sun Power. Everyone who needed to be there was there. No one wanted to work, which is a bummer. So I kind of went all in on that break. So when I came back, I was waxed, and then Chaz missed a few moves. I'm having to chase these moves back, right? We got to salvage something out of this freaking race. And so then Russ and myself and Matt were doing a pretty good job of bringing moves back. We'd hammer the front, we'd bring it back, and then another move would go, and we weren't in it. So it was like, dude, this is not good. Coming into the last lap, there is a big move up the road. Myself and Russ and Chaz go to the front, and with a couple A-main riders, and we're just like hammering it, dude, just bah! And I can't believe we brought it back, dude. We literally brought the break back. Mike Spikes at the end started to help out as well. But what a Tarun rider, I can't remember his name, Justin, I think? Justin Thompson, maybe? I don't know. Dude, that guy soloed away to the win. I didn't know that. Super strong. So we slay ourselves. We get our Isaiah, who's done no work the whole race, to be there at the end, and he gets 6th in the sprint finish. 5th in the pack sprint, but since one was off the front, he got 6th. That's 1 off the extended podium, but bro, 6th at Snelling, that was really good. I mean, I was happy with that.
There was, what, 5 flats today for the team?
4, 5 flats.
Well, Timmy flatted twice.
Well, yeah, like half the team flatted out.
Yeah, Timmy flatted twice.
You were the last man standing. It was all up to you. What did you think how the team worked?
It was good. We just had a lot of bad luck. A lot of, I guess the road conditions were kind of tough on our tires, and 4 or 5 flats on the day, so it took out half the team basically. I just kind of had to surf wheels at the end because we used everybody to catch all the brakes, and then almost went down a few times in the last few corners, and then came out top 10 somewhere, but it was just a hard day overall.
I mean, it sounds like you guys were in a lot of moves. I know Greg was in a pretty strong move, and guys just weren't working, you know, when they were up the road. So it's hard losing half the team. You don't plan for that, you know, at the start of the race. So you just try to make the most and then try to save somebody like Isaiah, you know, for the end.
Good job, man.
Thank you.
You're pushing.
Yeah, man, you went with that one. That was good, and you were always up there.
I was, if I had anything, it was hard for me to get up. So if there was, during the little ramps, I was like, yes, because I could just float past those guys. They'd be out of the saddle.
How do we split that T-shirt 7 ways?
With scissors, cut it up. That's 3 hours of suffering right here.
The day after that, we did the Merced crit, quiet day, only me and Isaiah. I did a video on that. Got second, got on the box. That was cool. The next weekend though was the Madeira stage race plus a red kite crit. So we actually had 2 squads, one squad doing a stage race, one squad doing a crit. Close to about $1,000, man, especially with the stage race being 110 a pop. We brought out Cameron, Terrence, and myself.
I think the debate is settled. I think Cameron's on the best setup. Super aero wheels, an aero bike, but still road bike, than with clip-on bars. But I honestly think it more comes down to like what kind of rider you are. And if you can put out power in a TT position, maybe it's better.
Okay, so that was decent. I mean, I went a minute 20 seconds faster than the last time I did this course on a full disc TT setup. So I'm happy that I went with the road bike. Bro, I'm really happy with that performance. I paced it super well, to be honest. I finished, you know, in the last 5 miles, I was able to really push hard. It was super awesome. I got caught by the guy behind me, Rob, who I had expected to, but he only like put a minute and 20 seconds into me, which usually he would put like 8 minutes into me within the first 1 minute. I caught my minute man, and it was really weird because I caught him, but then it was so windy that even if you were 10 bike lengths off of the guy, you're still getting a significant draft. So like I passed him, and then he passed me, and then I passed him, and then he passed me, yada yada yada. But dude, like to get a baseline where we can now take this and go to Chico, I think I'm very happy with this. Look, first of all, stoked on second, okay? It's unreal that last year I only had 1 podium, which was a second. 1 second place the whole year. This year, this is my 3rd second, almost in a row. So like, very stoked. Got completely whistle tipped by Sunflower, but I can still be super duper pissed about it. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, shit, I really wish this guy wasn't here. He played it smart. He did exactly what it was a perfect move for Flower Power, and he ended up winning. So I didn't win, but it was a great race, man. I felt really good.
What a race. We're in the middle of the race and they're taking a pee break. So, neat.
Going into the last lap, everyone's just looking at each other. Zach and Rob. Dude, we're doing a lot of work, and to put GC number 1, just like, dude, he got whistle tip, bro. I mean, he was doing so much work, and it was like on a downhill. He was just blowing his face off. Third in GC, Richie, actually jumped him, and then he got flicked, bro. He got flicked with half a lap to go. Like crazy. And so then me, Zach, and Richie were just on the front drilling it, trying to put as much time into him as possible. I ended up getting 5th in the road race. Richie did beat me. I was very close to getting 3rd in the road race. By like a bike length. Oh my goodness. At the time, I was really excited because I got a podium shot of me being 3rd in the GC. But again, Rob had flatted during the crit, and they didn't give him same time, which they should have given him same time. So I should never even have been in that position to get on the GC. But since they didn't give him time, the same time, I was 4th, hunting for 3rd. Like I said, it's just a whole fiasco with the promoter not really being on top of how they do their GC results and the time gaps. But it is what it is. I understand putting on a race is hard and difficult. But so then that got removed. So I actually got 4th in the GC. So that's kind of a bummer. And then the other team we sent to go do Red Kite, but Chaz was the best finisher, I think 9th. But we are just chugging through some cash. And I gotta be honest that it changes the way that I look at the riders, and I don't want it to. I mean, all these guys are my friends, but I've got to wear 2 hats. I got to wear the team manager hat, and then I got to wear your buddy teammate hat. And as a teammate, you're all doing great, and I love you guys. Fantastic, good job. As a team manager, get a win, because we're spending a ton of money. We're spending a lot of money. Sponsors wise, SIS Science and Sport has been just super helpful. We've gotten so much nutrition from them. Princeton Carbon Works set us up with 2 sets of wheels, one for me and then one for the team. So that's been really good. We're still looking for a helmet sponsor. We're still looking for a sunglass sponsor. I'm really trying to bang down the door of 100%. I've been on the phone with them a little bit. You know what I mean? And so trying to bring on some new sponsors to get us, looking like a real team, man, and functioning like a real team. But another episode of this series is going to have to be about communication and how we are working as a team. It's been difficult to get everyone to ride together on non-race days. I think that's a huge component that we're missing. If we trained together, if we rode a lot together, that dynamic, I think we'd race together much better. But look, dude, the goal is wins. The goal is to make this a legitimate team, man. And it's been difficult. It's been very stressful. On the rider's end, it's very easy to just accept because I'm paying for the races. I don't reimburse. I actually pay for the race, register all the guys, so no one's even having to have any money out of their pocket whatsoever. It's a freaking sweet deal. But when I'm looking at, how we're spending money, we need something good to show for it. So Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode about how racing is expensive. I hope it's not too much of a Debbie Downer, but I wanted to be open and honest because I want you to follow this journey so that hopefully, in a couple months, I can be telling you that this return on investment is fantastic. But as of right now, it's stressful, it costs a lot of money, and we don't have a whole lot to write home about. But we'll get there. It's a long season. As always, Vegan Cyclist. Yeah!